Mike, Spence and Crawford are fighting. Who wins?
Crawford.
Why? You got Crawford?
The reason why I say Crawford because when you think about the guys that they both fought like Porter and stuff, look what he did to Porter, look what he did to Porter. That's what I'm saying.
What's good, family? It's your man the YB. Back again in the flesh, no doubt about it, 1,000,000%. So we just heard there from your mans, Mike Tyson, airing out Errol Spence to some extent. Now, he says he believes Terrence Bud Crawford will smoke the pack of Errol Spence. Why? He uses the common information deduction method, I'll call it. Yeah, looking at a resume and comparing like for like. Now, I'm going to say the typical boxing cliche, oh, you can't use boxing triangle theory. But listen, that's really all we've got. Yeah, I'm not being funny, but we've all seen all the so-called boxing experts last week with George Bumbosas. About half, yeah, don't forget as well, half of the boxing experts were Devin Haney fans. So that don't really count. I'm telling you now, at least half of the non-Devin Haney boxing so-called pros were saying Bumbosas was going to do this, Bumbosas was going to do that. Yeah, Pauline Malignaggi, he was woofing. Bumbosas going to do a whole bag of it. He didn't do nothing. So the point is, expert opinion ain't worth a lick in my opinion. So really all we have is information. Now, the resume information, which is what Mike Tyson's going on, he says, listen, Bud Crawford, when you compare the people Spence's beat with the people Crawford's beat, Crawford comes out on top. Especially when you factor in the ones they both fought and who did better. Now really, I'm not sure. I mean, you might know me, I ain't gonna lie to no one. I'm a semi-casual boxing fan, yeah? I watch the good boxing fights, the top ones. I ain't trying to watch no bums. I mean, not being funny here, at the top level in boxing, there's enough bums fighting anyway. The last thing I need to do, yeah, is go away and actually start watching bum fights. You know what I'm saying? The amount of actual bum fights we get at the top level, like Tank versus Rolly Bum Arrow, the last thing I need to do is start actually watch. Imagine that. Imagine if you actually spent time watching undercards. Okay, no. The main events are bad enough, thanks. Yeah? So, like I was saying, I don't watch all them bum ones. So really, the only one I remember for both fighters is Sean Porter. In fact, no, Kell Brook, well, that's the thing. Mike Tyson says, looking at their equal resumes, or looking at the people they've both fought and how they beat them, he picks Crawford. But really, Errol Spence mollywopped a 90%, I'll call it 90%. Errol Spence mollywopped a 90% Kell Brook. Yeah, Terrence Crawford beat a 20% Kell Brook. So that would be a big W for Spence. Meanwhile, the example that Mike Tyson was actually using was what's it called? Crawford versus Sean Porter. That he so-called stopped. But I found that fishy, to be honest, yeah? Let's not forget, after the fight, Sean Porter, we're best friends, and we weren't. Yeah, Sean Porter tried to beat. Before the fight, yeah, I was actually gassing Sean Porter. Yeah? Midget working ass, dude. I was actually gassing him and actually put wasted coin on a bum ass dude. It was something like 5-1 or 6-1 for Sean Porter. Yeah, Sean back showtime. Sean no showtime. Yeah, Sean don't show up. Yeah, Sean B-level Porter. Sean B-level Porter went in there and did what he normally do, lose. Oops, I should have known. Yeah, never trust a B-level dude. Never trust a dude who always lose against the top guys. Nothing wrong with it. Someone got to lose, but damn. Can I use? But I can't lie to you. Sean Porter's known as a bit of a pacifist. Yeah. He's one of them guys who won't really rock the boat. In this fight, before the Crawford fight, he was saying, oh man, we friends, but I'm going to have to get in my friend's booty and all that kind of stuff. Damn, he talking. Yeah, it's my best camp ever, and I'm with my dad, and we about to get it, baby. Yeah, next thing we know, after the fight, what's the guy's name? Sean Porter's dad. I had to stop the fight because I weren't seeing the right things in training. You weren't seeing the right things in training? When exactly was you going to tell the punters that? Because that would have helped me to know you weren't really training properly before I put my coin on. Goofy looking out. I'm sick of honesty. There needs to be an investigation. I think, yeah, the information we're given on gambling needs to be authorised and registered. Yeah? Because in any other business, I can't sell you a product and tell you it's one thing and do another. That's what you call false advertisement. You can't do that. It's illegal. Or better yet, either way you look at it, you can't do it. Oops. But yet in boxing, you can say, oh, I had the best camp ever. Oh, I can't wait to get in his booty. Then the fight starts. You ain't trying to get in no booty. Then the fight starts. Well, you get whooped in a fight. Oh, I won't be training. That to me, that don't sit right with me, personally speaking. It's embarrassing, to be honest. And then the worst thing is, you got all the so-called man, or you got all the man fans saying, oh, but YB, he has to sell the fight. He's got to make a living. It's so dangerous. I don't give a F what he's got to do. Yeah? Don't lie. How about that? Whatever you might need to do, you don't need to lie. Don't be capping. If you had a crap camp, yeah, just say nothing. Fair enough. I'd like for people to be honest and come out and say, listen, I'm shot to bits, got no intention, I'm here for the bag. But better yet, if you can't say that, just be quiet, sit down somewhere. But don't go the other way and be talking all this smoke. But yeah, anyway, the point is, Mike Tyson, back to the video here. Mike Tyson saying that your man's Errol Spence went life and death with Sean Porter, which he did. And Terrence Crawford smoked him. But the same way as the Kell Brook thing, yeah, Kell Brook, you can say the same about Kell Brook. Errol Spence beat a much better Kell Brook. Oops. Although that might actually be one of the examples Mike's using. Maybe Mike's saying, well, Errol Spence, because Errol Spence was getting his head boxed off for 7 rounds. So maybe Mike Tyson's saying, well, yeah, Errol Spence beat Kell, but he took him 11 rounds and he lost half of them rounds. Terrence Crawford won all 2 rounds against Kell Brook and knocked him out earlier. And it was a more clear knockout. Errol Spence didn't knock Kell Brook out. Crawford did. Crawford really for the first time knocked Kell Brook out as well. But that wasn't the real Kell Brook. But that's what we can make value adjustments. Yeah? We can make value judgments like that was a bum Kell Brook, which it was. But really, Mike might not be doing that, or Mike likely isn't doing that. Mike's saying, bottom line, result for result, Kell Brook's pack got smoked by Crawford. Sean Porter's pack got smoked by Crawford. Errol Spence, life and death with Crawford. Errol Spence, life and death with Kell Brook. But you man know me, IQ too high, so we ain't gonna do that one. Even though I do pick Crawford. However, it has to be said, after that last fight against your Dennis Bumgus, yeah, after Errol Spence just smoked your Dennis Bumgus's pack, I do think that was the best Spence I've ever seen. That Spence would have equally, in my opinion, smoked Sean Porter's pack from as well. So on that basis, what can we say? It's one of them ones. And that's why, really, funnily enough, that's why we have to see the fight. Oops, isn't that amazing? Oh, I'm not sure who will win, and we've been saying that for 5 years. That's the whole point. That's why we're supposed to see the fight. You know what I'm saying? We're all sitting out. I'm actually not sure who will win. Actually, that's the problem with boxing, you see. The problem with boxing is, today, if you're not sure what happens in a fight, that's the way it'll stay, because you ain't going to ever see it. You know what I'm saying? It used to be the times like, oh, I'm not sure what would happen in that fight, hence, let's put it on. These days, oh, I'm not sure what can happen in that fight, let's wait until we're 50-year-old like Floyd and Pacquiao, and no one don't want to see it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's like these days. Back in the day, questions would lead to answers. The best questions would lead to the best answers. Who will win? Roy Jones or James Toney? We get it. Who will win? Roy Jones and this guy? We get it. Very few, or it used to be against the norm not to get a banging fight. These days, it's the norm. Expect not to get the big ones. But yeah, Mike Tyson, he backing Crawford. I personally back Crawford, but the fight's a lot closer than I thought it was. That Errol Spence who fought Danny Garcia, who fought Spence, he'd have been mollywopped by Crawford in my opinion. Not mollywopped, but I mean, I've heard some people saying that Spence is going to stop Crawford. I mean, Pauline Malignaggi, who was wrong about Devin versus Bambosos, he says that Errol Spence is going to stop Crawford. I don't see that in a month for Sundays. Terrence Crawford's defense way too tight, and Errol Spence really, he doesn't have a power punch. I'm not saying he's weak, but he breaks people down. He don't hit them hard though. If he hit hard, Mikey Garcia would have been out of there. If he hit hard, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, even Ugas got battered, but he wasn't smart. He got battered, didn't he? He wasn't concussed though. Same as Kell Brook. Kell Brook got battered to some extent, got his bones broken, but he wasn't knocked out or neurologically compromised, is the point. A knockout is to do with becoming neurologically compromised. Spence don't do that. I'm not saying Crawford does in particular, but I mean, I just don't see you catching Crawford like that. I see Crawford counter-punching with Spence. I don't see you just teeing off on Crawford and him just shelling up like you just did. But then again, that's what being dominated does. I'm sure your Dennis Bumgus didn't expect for his offense to be shut down and for him to break down, but that's what happens. When someone tops you, yeah, when an athlete is an alpha, when a man is alpha to you, yeah, and he tops you in boxing, your offense just shuts down. That's what you call shutting someone down. Anyone who box knows when someone's just dominating you, or you go into a shell and all you can do is just about defend yourself. That's it. Unless your name's Anthony Johnston and he can't even do that. He'll just stand there like, hands like this, tight guard. That's what you come in at, super tight. Look at that super tightness on the side, super tight chin down. Yeah, no shots coming through, super duper tight, hands in. That's what you want to do. Johnston, doing all this shit. That's what he does with his defense. No defense having an ass nick. But yeah, again, bottom line, the story of this tale is, let's see the damn fight. That's what the story of this tale is about. This, that, the other. Let's see it. Okay, now there is some mumblings. I've got a video coming soon. There is some mumblings. It's going to be on. It best be on. No, imagine that. Imagine in the NBA or the NFL saying, oh, there's some rumblings. I don't really watch sport, but imagine, yeah, in the NBA, there was some rumblings of LA Lakers versus the other best team. I'm just guessing. I don't watch any sports, but you know what's that? Or the Patriots versus this guy. Imagine that. You'd be like, what? There's no imagine. There's a Super Bowl every year. Yeah. There's no imagine. There's the NBA version of the Super Bowl every year. Boxing, 5 years in a row about the same fight. Imagine we had Errol Spence. What the worst thing is, yeah, NBA, every other sport gets a banging event every year, no doubt. Every year on the year, we know we're seeing the best versus the best. Boxing, you might like a fight in 2014, and in 2022, you're still talking about the fight. No joke. I'll give you an example. Lomachenko versus Tank Davis. Oops. I kid you not, 2016, 2017, I remember saying Tank Davis versus Loma. Wow. It's now 2023. Damn near. And Tank's still fighting bums. So get this fight on, man. Please, for the sake of everything, get this damn fight on. We must see this fight ASAP. No Rocky. That's what we must see right now. 100%. Yeah? But who's going to win? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that in the day? Just needs to run it now. I will back. Will I put coin on Crawford? I want to see the odds. Because Errol Spence has more of the cult following. So it could end up being 2-1 against Crawford. If I can triple my money off of Crawford, I'll take that. If it's 50-50, I'll probably put a little piece on, but I'm not going to go. I wouldn't like it that much. I'm hoping that Spence fangirls come in hot and they load up. I do prefer, I wouldn't bet on Spence. I don't know. Although like I said, his last performance, that makes it much more likely for me. I'd rather bet. Bottom line, I wasn't liking it at all. I mean, Crawford for me was before the Ugas fight, Crawford was a 60-40. Now it's like, now it's like 55-45. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a big change. Some sort of 10% difference. Anyway, let me see your thoughts. No doubt.